Have you ever wondered, what if everything you learned about early human history was only part of the story? What if ancient footprints, mysterious bones, forgotten civilizations, and impossible discoveries revealed that our past is far more complicated than anyone imagined? From humans walking across North America during the Ice Age to a lost human species whose DNA still exists inside millions of people today, archaeologists continue to uncover evidence that forces scientists to rewrite history. Some discoveries are widely accepted, others remain fiercely debated, but every one of them challenges what we thought we knew. Today, we're exploring some of the most astonishing archaeological discoveries ever made, finds that continue to reshape humanity's incredible journey. Before we begin, welcome to Aeon Timeless History, where we explore the forgotten civilizations, mysterious discoveries, and incredible stories hidden beneath the surface of history. If you enjoy documentaries that dive deep into the ancient world, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. And while you're watching, let us know in the comments, which discovery surprised you the most? We'd love to hear your thoughts. For generations, textbooks taught that the first humans entered North America around 13,000 years ago. According to the traditional Clovis model, people crossed a land bridge connecting Siberia and Alaska near the end of the last ice age, before gradually spreading across the continent. It seemed like a well-established timeline. Then an extraordinary discovery in New Mexico forced archaeologists to reconsider nearly everything. Inside what is now White Sands National Park, researchers discovered hundreds of ancient footprints, preserved beneath layers of hardened mud that once formed the shoreline of a prehistoric lake. These weren't isolated prints from a single traveler. They represented repeated journeys by adults, teenagers, and young children, moving across the same landscape over many generations. Scientists carefully dated plant material trapped within the surrounding sediment, using multiple independent samples collected from different layers. The results consistently suggested an age of roughly 21 to 23,000 years. If those dates are correct, humans were already living deep inside North America during the height of the last ice age, thousands of years before the Clovis culture appeared. The footprints tell an emotional story, as well as a scientific one. Some appear to show adults carrying children. Others suggest families returning repeatedly to the same location. These were not explorers briefly passing through unfamiliar territory. They were people living their daily lives in a landscape filled with giant ice age animals. Naturally, discoveries this significant sparked debate. Some researchers questioned whether the dating material could have produced misleading results. Additional studies have continued examining the evidence, and while discussion remains active, the footprints have become one of the strongest pieces of evidence supporting the idea that humans reached the Americas much earlier than once believed. If these ancient footprints really are over 20,000 years old, they completely transform our understanding of human migration across the globe. Instead of a single migration, there may have been several waves of people entering the Americas through different routes over thousands of years. In northern Kenya, archaeologists searching for fossils unexpectedly encountered enormous stone tools unlike anything previously discovered. These tools were massive, requiring tremendous force to shape. Their makers intentionally struck large stones to create sharp cutting edges capable of processing meat or working with wood. The surrounding volcanic layers dated these artifacts to approximately 3.3 million years ago. That number stunned scientists. Before this discovery, researchers believed sophisticated stone tool production began roughly 2.6 million years ago with early members of the genus Homo. These newly discovered tools were hundreds of thousands of years older. Who made them? At that point in time, Homo erectus had not yet appeared. Instead, the likely toolmakers were Australopithecines, ancient human relatives traditionally believed to possess relatively simple cognitive abilities. If that interpretation is correct, complex planning, manual skill, and technological innovation emerged much earlier than expected. Rather than a sudden leap in intelligence, human evolution may have involved gradual experimentation stretching back millions of years. This discovery reminds us that intelligence leaves traces long before civilizations appear. Few discoveries, however, have transformed our understanding of humanity as dramatically as one tiny bone recovered from a cave deep within Siberia. For decades, Denisova Cave attracted archaeologists because it contained evidence of repeated human occupation over thousands of years. Then, researchers uncovered a tiny fragment of a finger bone dating back around 40,000 years. At first glance, it seemed unremarkable. Then, geneticists sequenced its DNA. The results shocked the scientific community. The individual belonged neither to modern humans nor to Neanderthals. Instead, scientists had identified an entirely unknown branch of humanity. They named them the Denisovans. Until that moment, no one knew this human population had ever existed. Even more astonishing, genetic comparisons revealed that Denisovans had interbred with the ancestors of many living people. Populations throughout parts of Oceania and Southeast Asia still carry measurable amounts of Denisovan DNA today. That means this mysterious human group never completely disappeared. A portion of their genetic legacy survives inside millions of people around the world. Scientists still possess only a handful of Denisovan fossils, yet those few fragments completely transformed our family tree. Sometimes an entire chapter of human history can emerge from a single, tiny bone. Here's a question for you. If you could meet one extinct human species for just one day, Neanderthals, Denisovans, or another ancient relative, which would you choose and why? Leave your answer in the comments below. We read as many comments as possible, and your ideas often inspire future episodes. Our understanding of modern human origins also experienced a dramatic shift thanks to remarkable discoveries in Morocco. For decades, many researchers believed our species first appeared roughly 200,000 years ago in Eastern Africa. Then, excavations uncovered remarkably ancient human remains, showing a fascinating mixture of old and modern features. The faces looked surprisingly similar to ours. The skulls, however, retained more elongated brain cases characteristic of earlier human populations. Advanced dating techniques indicated these individuals lived approximately 315,000 years ago. Rather than pointing toward a single birthplace, these discoveries suggest early Homo sapiens may have evolved across multiple interconnected populations throughout Africa. Instead of one isolated origin, our species may have emerged through thousands of years of interaction between different regional groups. Human evolution increasingly resembles a branching network rather than a straight line. Not every discovery enjoys universal acceptance. Some remain among archaeology's greatest controversies. One of the most debated examples comes from Southern California. During excavations associated with construction work, researchers uncovered mastodon bones displaying unusual fracture patterns. Nearby rested several large stones that some investigators interpreted as hammerstones and anvils used to break fresh bones for nutrient-rich marrow. Dating suggested an astonishing age of roughly 130,000 years. If humans truly processed those bones, they reached North America over 100,000 years earlier than accepted models allow. That would require an entirely different human species because modern Homo sapiens had not yet spread throughout the region. Many archaeologists remain skeptical. Some argue construction equipment could have produced similar fractures decades after excavation began.
Others believe natural geological forces explain the damage. The debate continues today. Whether eventually confirmed or rejected, the site demonstrates how extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Science advances by testing ideas, not by accepting them without question. Now let's travel to Germany, where archaeologists uncovered evidence that completely changed how researchers viewed Ice Age hunters. Hidden beneath ancient lake sediments were remarkably preserved wooden spears dating back around 300,000 years. Wood rarely survives such immense periods of time. Only unusual environmental conditions protected these weapons from decay. The spears revealed sophisticated craftsmanship. Balanced much like modern javelins, they were carefully shaped for accurate throwing. Experimental archaeology later showed that replica spears could strike targets effectively from considerable distances. Nearby lay the butchered remains of numerous wild horses. The evidence suggested coordinated hunting rather than opportunistic scavenging. Groups of hunters likely worked together to drive entire herds toward favorable terrain before launching their attack. This discovery transformed our image of early humans. Instead of surviving solely by scavenging predator kills, they demonstrated planning, communication, teamwork, and advanced hunting strategies hundreds of thousands of years ago. Complex cooperation has deeper roots than many once imagined. Intelligence isn't measured only by brain size. It also appears in creativity. Along South Africa's coastline lies Blombos Cave, one of the world's most remarkable archaeological sites. Inside, researchers uncovered pieces of red ochre engraved with deliberate geometric patterns. The lines intersect neatly, forming abstract designs created between 75,000 and 100,000 years ago. Nearby archaeologists found perforated shell beads showing signs of prolonged wear, indicating they had been strung together as personal ornaments. These discoveries suggest symbolic thought. The people living there weren't merely surviving. They expressed identity. They created patterns. They appreciated beauty. Art and symbolism were flourishing tens of thousands of years before agriculture transformed human societies. Creativity may be one of humanity's oldest defining characteristics. As we've seen so far, every remarkable discovery adds another piece to humanity's enormous puzzle. But the next discovery reminds us that civilizations can vanish almost completely, leaving only scattered clues behind. In China's Sichuan Basin, workers unexpectedly uncovered enormous ritual pits filled with extraordinary bronze sculptures, towering masks, intricate ceremonial objects, and magnificent works of craftsmanship unlike anything previously associated with ancient China. Many artifacts displayed exaggerated facial features with enormous protruding eyes. Others included towering bronze trees decorated with birds. One monumental human figure stood nearly 2 meters tall. The artistic style differed dramatically from neighboring cultures of the same era. Rather than confirming a single cultural tradition spreading across ancient China, the discovery revealed multiple sophisticated societies developing simultaneously, each with unique beliefs, technologies, and artistic traditions. History often survives through written records, but sometimes entire civilizations disappear so completely that archaeology becomes their only surviving voice. Finally, we arrive at one of the most fascinating human relatives ever discovered. On the Indonesian island of Flores, archaeologists uncovered the remarkably complete skeleton of an adult female, unlike any previously known human. She stood barely 1 meter tall. Her brain was surprisingly small. Initially, some scientists proposed she represented a modern human suffering from a rare medical condition. Then additional skeletons appeared. Each shared the same distinctive anatomy. Researchers recognized they had discovered an entirely separate human species. Popularly nicknamed the hobbits, these ancient humans survived until roughly 50,000 years ago. That means they coexisted with modern humans moving throughout Southeast Asia. Despite their small brains, they manufactured stone tools, adapted successfully to island environments, and likely hunted local animals. Their existence shattered the once common belief that Homo sapiens became Earth's only surviving human species long before civilization emerged. Instead, multiple human relatives shared our world surprisingly recently. The deeper archaeologists dig, the more complicated humanity becomes. Every footprint, every stone tool, every fragment of bone, every ancient spear, every forgotten civilization. Each discovery reminds us that history is not fixed.
It evolves with every new piece of evidence uncovered from beneath the earth. What once seemed impossible eventually becomes accepted. What seems certain today may be revised tomorrow. That is the beauty of archaeology. It does not simply preserve the past, it continually rewrites it. And perhaps the greatest discovery has not yet been found. Somewhere beneath deserts, forests, caves, frozen landscapes, or beneath the ocean floor, another artifact may already be waiting. One capable of changing everything we think we know about our ancestors. If you enjoyed this journey into humanity's hidden past, don't forget to subscribe to Aeon Timeless History and become part of our growing community of history enthusiasts. Share this video with someone who loves ancient mysteries and leave a comment telling us which discovery challenged your understanding of history the most. We genuinely enjoy reading your theories and discussions. Thank you for watching Aeon Timeless History. Until our next journey into the forgotten past, keep questioning,
Keep exploring, and remember, history is never truly finished. There is always another mystery waiting to be uncovered. If you'd like to continue exploring the ancient world, watch the next documentary appearing on your screen now. We've carefully selected another fascinating journey into humanity's forgotten past that we think you'll enjoy. We'll see you there.